there are a few people who have had more experience in helping cooperatives develop governance systems that honor members' voices and navigate the conflicts that can occur in cooperatives so that the cooperative has a good outcome. And they are on this next panel. Margaret Bow is the Cooperative Development Specialist for USDA and has worked to advance home care cooperatives both within the government and through development. And then Melbah Smith is with us. She is the former Cooperative Development Specialist and Executive Director at the Mississippi Association of Cooperatives. Melbah's work has been honored by the cooperative community with induction into the Cooperative Hall of Fame. That gives you an idea of what high esteem the cooperative community holds Melbah in. So I'll turn the program over to Margaret Bow to introduce and moderate the presentation. So welcome, Margaret.
Thank you, Leslie. It is my honor to introduce Melbah Smith. Melbah has worked for nearly 40 years to start and strengthen cooperatives in some of the most impoverished, isolated, and ignored communities in the United States. After completing her graduate degree from Tuskegee University, she started her career with the Federation of Southern Cooperatives Land Assistance Fund in 1972. She was a community organizer and a community developer on healthcare, economic development, and social justice issues. Melbah returned to her home state to serve as the executive director of the Mississippi Association of Cooperatives. She formed more than 25 cooperatives. She was also one of the founders of Cooperation Works, the national network of co-op developers and co-op development centers. As Leslie said, Melbah was inducted in 2009 into the Cooperative Hall of Fame, which is the highest honor that the co-op community can bestow on someone for whose work is truly heroic. That same year, Melbah formally retired from the Mississippi Association of Cooperatives, but she is still active in community organizing and cooperative development, and being a grandma. As you will soon hear, Melbah is a woman of deep faith. She challenges others to dream and to find a way to fulfill those dreams. So please join me in welcoming Melbah Smith.
Thank you so much, Margaret and Leslie, for that introduction and for that information that you provided in that introduction. I don't see myself exactly like that. I see it as helping people and working together with other people in order to accomplish some things that they're interested in getting accomplished. So I'm happy to be here today and to be a part of this conference, which is very, very exciting. Next slide. Okay, let me talk just a minute about myself. I was born in Brandon, Mississippi, within a family of 4, and I'm so thankful for that too. My father, my mother, and then my brother. I began my career with the Federation of Southern Cooperatives in 1972, as we just mentioned, and organizing cooperatives throughout the South initially. When I first came to the Federation of Southern Cooperatives, and its office is located in a little small town called Epps, Alabama. And I said, oh my, this is similar to my hometown. So it's not hard to get used to. So I really, really enjoyed my work there. I joined the co-op movement, as I said, in 1962 and currently serves on the board of directors of the South Rankin County Farmers Cooperative and has been the secretary there for 17 years. And I'm still an active member of that. It's an agricultural cooperative made of producers. Most of them are livestock producers, but not all of them. They're vegetable producers as well. And I think that was sort of a culmination to my work with the Federation of Southern Cooperatives is to have organized a cooperative in my local community and to get people who were interested in what we had to say and really, really get after it. And we've been in existence almost 20 years now, and it's still going. Next slide. Okay, so let's talk about the vision here. Each co-op I know has a vision, and that vision is, where do you want to go? Where are you trying to go? And in Habakkuk 2:2-4, and the Lord said, write the vision. So we do want to write the vision so that, and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it, that those who read it can catch hold and take charge and begin to help move it forward. For the vision is not yet an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, meaning that it shall come to pass. Though it may tarry, wait for it. That's where your faith comes in, believing that we will reach what we had put forth and wanted to accomplish. Because it surely will come, it will not tarry. The just shall live by faith. So I'm a believer of that. And in working with cooperatives, that is an encouraging word when talking with people about what their vision is and how will they get there. Next slide. And mission. A mission is, I like to say that a mission is like a missionary, a person that has some work to do and goes out and does it and begin to share that with other people. Our mission is to bring value to our member owners, customers, and communities by providing reliable, superior service and innovative solutions. It also includes your tasks, your strategies necessary to accomplish the mission, and your purpose too. So when I talk about your purpose, the purpose includes, what is your organization, why it exists, the reason for being, what you would do, what will you do, and who are your customers, and what is your area that you're providing services in. And the purpose is doing exactly what you said you would do, actually being direct. So next slide. Cooperatives are organized to serve their members, provide goods and services both to their membership as well as the community. So I'd like to say that it's to provide services both to their members and serve the community as well. That's very, very important, because the co-op is a part of a community. It's not alone. And so people begin to work together, even work with the cooperative, buy and purchase from a cooperative, receive the services that the cooperative provides, or even ask those people, the cooperative, to come and help them establish something that they're interested in doing. It strengthens the economy, the economic, social, and cultural base of the community too. And it's a partner within the community, people working together to accomplish what it is that they desire. And I'd like to add one issue that we're working on with our cooperatives and with sister cooperatives and with other people in our community. Mississippi has two statutes regarding cooperatives. It has one for agriculture production, and then it has another one for agriculture marketing. You cannot organize any other type of cooperative in the state of Mississippi other than those two. So that's the piece of legislation that we've been trying to change for about 10 years now. We haven't gotten to the point that we've gotten a change. But any group that wants to and desires to organize a cooperative in the state of Mississippi has to go outside the state and become chartered, and then return their legal documents back to the state in order to provide services within the state. Now, we had one local group that was a consumer cooperative. It was a health food store. So at first they organized under the nonprofit charter. And it was about 11 years before they recognized that they were not actually chartered as a cooperative, but as a nonprofit organization. And so they went to Wisconsin and asked for assistance. And they were chartered there and then returned back to Mississippi to actually provide services. And two, I was a member of that cooperative as well. Next slide. So let's talk about the cooperative principles. What are they? And someone has just mentioned one or two of those already. It's open membership, open to all persons who have a common need or interest in that particular service. So in our cooperative, we have taken it another step further, and in some cooperatives have adopted this, what we are doing. If a person is interested in becoming a member of South Rankin County Farmers Association, that's what we are called, they complete an application for membership. In order that a new member coming into our organization, we ask them to attend at least 3 membership education classes. Here they learn about who we are, what our purpose are, what our goals and objectives, what our vision is, what our mission is, and services that we actually provide to the membership. In addition to that, we ask them to purchase 1 share of common stock. Now that we have 2 types of stock within our co-op. The common stock is when you become a member. And then there's preferred stock if you want to invest in the cooperative. And that is not limited just to the membership. It's limited to outside investors too. We have a cooperative in Mississippi that grows sweet potatoes. And they were having a hard time in getting transportation, be able to expand their services to other states and be able to purchase 18-wheeler trucks that would transport those sweet potatoes to other states. So they had people from within their community who believed in the cooperative and were business owners, and they invested monies into that particular cooperative, which allowed them to expand their services. So in our cooperative, we were purchasing some real estate, some land, to build our co-op office and to have some training space for doing other things and related to livestock, planting grasses, and just several other things that we do for our members. So we use that as a training facility. So there were some members who invested into that because the co-op needed money. So now the cooperative is moving in a position that they can pay that investment back with 8% interest, which is on the preferred stock certificate that each of them have. So I think we've really set an example in our area. And we talk also, the 4th thing I'd like to say, after they complete an application, attend at least 3 membership education classes, purchase 1 share of common stock, and that common stock is $250. And then they receive membership approval by the board, and then they get a certificate for that, and they are members of the cooperative. The next cooperative principle is 1 person, 1 vote. Co-ops, as everyone knows, is democratically controlled by their members. Each member has 1 vote to decide the matter of policy. Members use their vote for choosing directors. Next slide. Okay, they use their vote to elect directors or to approve of any activity that the co-op is wanting to engage in. Cooperative principle, there's limited return on investments. For the co-op to get off the ground, the members themselves will have to invest. And I just talked about that a few minutes ago, how in this particular cooperative, South Rankin County Farmers Association, some members invest money and time in it. And that's critical because sometimes our cooperatives think that, well, the board runs the co-op and we'll just listen to that. But that's not being a cooperative. Cooperative is people working together in order to accomplish that mission and vision that we talked about earlier. This is limited in order to prevent a few people from making large controlling investments. So of course, one person, one vote, working together to accomplish our vision and missions and goals and objectives is limited. So we don't allow people to come in and invest large controlling investments. Now that's different from the preferred stock. We're talking about the common stock members. Next slide. The next principle we want to talk about is benefit return according to the use. This is patronage refund. We don't actually have that in our co-op, although it is a principle of ours. But we do see that in our local co-op in our county, where it's an agriculture cooperative that provides feed and all types of farm supplies. And at the end of the year, they keep a record of what you purchase from the cooperative, and at the end of the year, they give what they call patronage refund, and the board declares how much that is. It may be 3% interest on what you spent there, it may be 5%, or it may be more. So that's an example of patronage refund. The next cooperative principle is constant expansion. Now, I love this one because it says, co-op should always be ready to grow and increase its capacity to serve its members. Your members are the reason that you exist, right? And so therefore, if there's some other needs that the membership brings to a membership meeting or to the board and discuss that we think that we ought to expand in this area. We've accomplished this first thing that we were after and that we decided that we wanted to do. So now we feel like we can move to the next area. There are some people that want high tunnels. There are some people who want to market their goods, and we haven't been doing that part of it. Their vegetables or whatever else they're growing, or their cattle, or their eggs that they're growing. So we'll expand into that area in order to meet the needs of the members, and we'll add that as part of what we do as a cooperative. Constant education, I think, is my favorite one. Since this form of economics is new to most people, education is constantly needed by the members to understand and operate their cooperative. You have new members coming in from time to time, and they've heard about it, but they really didn't understand it. So that is why we set up these 3 classes prior to becoming members, so that we could share with them who we were, what we were about, and where we were going, what we wanted to do for our members. And then they get an understanding of that. So I just think that education is key to the success of a co-op in terms of their membership. A regular membership education program should be established to keep members informed and to keep them engaged. I can't see the bottom part of that, but I think it says engaged. So we do have regular membership education classes, as I said, for new members, but not only for new members. At our annual meeting, we always bring someone in that can talk more about a specific topic that the members are concerned about. Next slide. Now this one is really good, cooperative principle, and I know most of you know about the co-op principles. Concern for the community. Co-ops work for the sustainable development of their communities through policies accepted by their members, work to improve their community by supporting programs, events, and activities. And we've also had a youth program that we've established at our cooperative, where we begin to talk about co-ops to them and begin to engage them, even though they are not members, but they're part of the youth development program, because they know more about this electronic and things that some of our older members, including myself, does not know, and can do that really quickly. They can help produce our newsletters. And at the same time, what are they doing? They are learning about how to work together and what co-ops are. So, so we're appreciative of that. And so concern for the community. We also have a local high school that's there. And every summer we have some programs that we offer to the students who attend there, and they can fill out an application and be accepted to attend the program, especially if their parents are agriculture producers. They can learn more about how they can assist their parents in developing their farming operation. Okay, next slide. Okay. The board of directors of cooperatives is elected by the members. And we have what we call a nominating process. And the bylaws determine the number of directors and the terms that they are to serve. And there are staggered terms, which allows for consistency, but it also allows for new members to run for the board too, because the terms are up. We had staggered terms, some serve 1 year. We have 7 members on our board. Some serve 1 year, some serve 2 years, and then the remainder serve 3 years. So when their terms are up, then there's an election each year for new members or to re-elect the person that whose term is up. And then they are automatically goes back into a 3-year term. The board sets long-range plans and goals for the future, moving toward the vision. And I'm really just really concerned about and talk more directly about the vision, because the vision is, where does the co-op want to go? And I think each member in the education class learns that or is taught that. What are we trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish? And I think if they catch hold to this, then it's lessens the amount of confusion in the cooperative. Sometimes we do have some confusion in the co-op. But if they understand why the co-op was organized, what does the co-op do in terms of service to for its membership, and where are we trying to go? So we have what we call a feed program, and the co-op buys feed because a majority of our members are livestock producers. So we buy feed in bulk and we sell it to our members, but it's sold at a price that's lower than they can get it from the other stores that are in our community. So the board sets long-range plans and goals for the future, moving toward the vision. They ensure sound management of the co-op's resources. And I think on that, and we'll go to the next slide. Yes, act as trustee on behalf of the members, select and define the roles of the manager and any other staff that handles the day-to-day operation for the co-op. When necessary, the board appoints committees to work on specific goals. Now, let me say this. These committees can be comprised of both board and co-op members. And I'm really trying to stress today that the members should be involved in the activity work of the co-op. I know some of them have jobs that are outside of the co-op, and can't be at every meeting. But the more the membership is educated about what the co-op is doing and what the board is doing on behalf of the co-op, it lessens the amount of tension and stress within a co-op. So I really would like to say that is one of my most important positions in terms of what the board should be doing, including the membership whenever it can in committees and working and being involved in the co-op. The board keeps membership informed, hold quarterly meetings, discussions with memberships on plans going forward. Seek their input. That is really, really important. Seek the input from the members. They may not come to the meeting, the board meeting, but you could have a little box that they could put their concerns or their concerns about what is going on, or their interest in serving on this or that, or some more plans, additional plans too. So, and so I'm gonna move forward to the next slide. Okay, I'll run through these pretty quickly. The qualities of an effective co-op leader: ability to hear fully what others are saying, ability to hear critical feedback without becoming defensive, ability to respond with openness when others disagree, and know your weakness. We don't know everything. You may say, well, Melbah, you worked since 1972 with co-ops and you know quite a bit. Yeah, but I don't know everything, and I should acknowledge that. Foster an environment of sharing the stage with others. Okay, so next slide. Ability to appreciate the contribution of others, stay on topic, be able to function well in chaos, ability to put others at ease during conversation. That's not always a skill that we have. Can follow as well as lead. That's really good. Follow through on commitments. Next slide. Characteristics of a good team member: honest and straightforward. A good team member is upfront, says what they feel, but in a manner that it can be received. Share the load. A good team member does his or her fair share of the work. I know some people have outside jobs, as I mentioned earlier, and may not be able to do as much as others. We're not talking about doing as much as others or doing equal to others. We're talking about being engaged and doing what you can, a fair share of the work. A member is reliable, can be counted on. Fair, positive attitude, complements other skills, good communication skills. Next slide. A membership elects members of the board of directors, approve bylaws, serve on committees appointed by the board, attend meetings, workshop, conferences whenever available, keep abreast. That's a good point. Keep abreast of what's going in your co-op. You don't have to call your neighbor and see what is going on, but come to meetings. And then we send out a newsletter to keep our membership abreast, to let them know some changes that have been made or some new things that are going to be offered at the co-op. Remember, this is your co-op. Next slide. I'm not sure if it's another one or not. There we go. Melbah Smith.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Melbah. This, your words of wisdom mean so much to us, especially to the caregivers that are out day to day providing good quality care to their friends and families. So thank you so much for this. If you have questions for Melbah, please type them into the chat. But I'm going to take this opportunity to ask Melbah a question based on your 40 years of experience. This past year with COVID, 2020 has been a very difficult year. How do you maintain the enthusiasm and the leadership when times get tough like this?
Oh, that's a good question. And we've had not just our co-op, but it in with the university too, Alcorn State University and Mississippi State University. We've been having Zoom sessions, and if people can't get on Zoom or don't have computers, they can call in. And they've been talking about different programs. The membership is interested in what is available to them. And they've been talking about the various programs that are available now with USDA programs in our county, the extension service in our county. And then when they're talking on these lines here with people who come on, they give them ways that they can contact them. And then they'll send out materials or literature about the subject that they are interested in. And then they'll make appointments that they can come into their office to receive further information that they may have in the office. So it has been somewhat sheltered because we have had people that would come to our co-op and talk with the group as a group. But we do offer the phone lines that they can call in. And by the way, several of them have, because of these conferences, online conferences, that the University, Alcorn State 1890 and others, and USD in conjunction with USDA, people have been able to get their fences, a new fence, and because we had storms, trees had fallen on their fence where they had their livestock, they've been able to get those because they heard that they did have, USDA had emergency monies for that could help them restore their fence so that the cattle wouldn't roam. And so that's been really good. And then they've been talking also, which is really critical because our members are elderly. A lot of them are elderly, and they've been talking about estate plans. They have a farm, and they've been doing certain things on this farm. So what is your plan if you were to move to another place, which we call heaven? And encouraging them to do that so they won't lose their farm that they've been in their family for maybe 3 and 4 generations.
So it sounds like providing information, that sharing information and being for the cooperative to be a conduit from information when times are difficult.
When being a conduit when times are difficult, and checking in on their members too. That's key. Even if they're not sending out the newsletter, if it's continuing to be sent out, but checking in just to see how are you doing? Is there something that the co-op can do for you? And this not only for the co-ops, but the co-op being a leader in that community is also looking at the community that surrounds the cooperative too, and checking on those families, because we do have a lot of elderly people. Most times a lot of elderly people live in the rural areas because that's where they grew up. So that's been really encouraging.
Yeah. May I ask another question? Sometimes an individual, a charismatic individual, will be the driving force behind organizing a cooperative.
Mhm.
But of course, cooperatives are more than about just a single person. Cooperatives are a group of people coming together.
Yes.
How can co-ops navigate that transition from the inspiring founder to a fully functioning board of directors and a fully functioning membership with a shared mission?
I think I'll go back to the 1 or 2 first slides I talked about too. When you become a member, if you're interested in becoming members, it is key that you build a foundation with these individuals that are interested in becoming a member, letting them know how the co-op operates, letting them what the vision of the co-op, what the mission, what are we doing right now, but we're do not want to remain here. We want to grow. We want to encourage other people to join and to be a part of what it is that we're trying to do. So I think that to me, education is key, not so much co-op education, but sharing information among people. And the leader, when I talked about those qualities of a good leader, even though that person may have had the vision and interest in organizing the co-op and was the outstanding person, but to share that with everybody, to let everybody, if one person, one vote, you have as much interest in this co-op as I do. And the leader has to be able to be that type of leader and not be, because I had this concept and I shared it and people caught hold to it. I want to share it such that let you know that you can be on the board, you can do this, you can do that, and get to know your members.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you have any final, we're almost out of time. This has been such a wonderful opportunity to listen to your words of wisdom, Melbah. Thank you for this. Do you have any final thoughts to share with us, to share with the caregivers that are doing such important, critical care out across their communities?
Yes, I have one thing that I would say. When the co-op spirit becomes a part of you, you will talk about it. You will share that with other people. And that's how it has become a part of me. It started, and I'm gonna try to make this real short. It started when my parents were living, and we would slaughter a pig for food or beef or something. And when we did that, we would invite the community to come and partake of that. Maybe, they wanted cut up once it was cured ham or something like this or whatever, made sausage for them. So it becomes a part of who you are. And that to me is how you're able to share that with other people who may not know about your services, like at the home health care cooperative. The people that you are attending to may not know about the services. They know what you're saying, doing with them. But if that spirit that you bring into that home about who you work for or who you're working with, not for, is shared with those people, and those people will share it with somebody else. I've met so-and-so and they were amazing. And do you know they're doing this down? I didn't even know that. You begin to talk about it, and that's how it bubbled up in my heart when I worked for the Federation back in 1972. I spent 2 weeks in classes learning about that. And then I spent another 2 weeks in visiting co-op and getting to know the people. And then they got to know me. So I think that sharing something from your heart to someone else catches on, and the spirit just keeps moving.
Those words are the best way to end this conversation. Thank you, Melbah.
Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me and for just encouraging me and saying good things about me. I appreciate that. But it's not me. It's the spirit that's in me.